Hi, I'm Chuck, KK6USY. Welcome to Ham Radio Adventures. Oh, wow. This is totally rude of me. I'm in a beautiful place here, and I've got you guys where you can't really see the background. Let me change my camera. Hang on. Let's try to get you something where you can see the background really well. That looks good, except for the light. Now let's bring some light in. I might be a little dark, but I want the background to look good. Sorry I'm dark, but the background is beautiful, and I hate to have you guys not see this. I'm up camping right now with a friend of mine. I'm going to do a review here. He called me up a couple days ago and said, hey, let's go camping. And we went to one of our favorite places. I've actually never camped here. This is Northern California. We have a lot of beautiful lakes, and this lake is breathtaking, guys. So anyhow, I'm going to do a video on, it's a review. I want to thank the good people over at Oupes for sending me this. Okay, so what they sent me was a solar generator. It's called the Exodus 1500. It's a pretty nice unit. Make sure you stick around the end. There's a few things that I don't know for sure why they did what they did, but I want to check out and make sure there's not a reason for it before I say something bad about it. But so what we're going to do is I'm going to run my fridge. I have a compressor fridge, and the compressor fridge is pretty efficient, so this thing should handle it. I've already run about 15 hours on it so far, and it still has pretty good percentage. I think it was 86% this morning when I got up. Yeah, it's a pretty nice looking unit, and it's brand new. I might be the first review, but if I get this thing out fast enough, and it looks pretty nice. And remember that down in the description there will be a link to where you can buy this, and I think I also have a coupon for this to save you a little bit of money. And their motto is no power ops without Oupes. Okay, let's get on with the review. Let me just swing this thing around for you. Here's the corner. I'm out on a fishing dock right now. We've caught some fish here before. I usually come up here when it's full of snow. There's some guys, you'll get some video of them also. And they were up here looking for snow and ended up having to find mud instead. But check this beautiful lake out. I'll do the 360 for you here, or 180, I should say. There's camp down there. Okay, so let's check this thing out. The instructions are here. And there's a couple notes in here. There's a warranty card. Power station's 3 years, solar panels 1 year, adapters and cables 2 years. This is a pro tip here. Optimal performance, fully drain and recharge the first use to preserve the battery. And then it suggests every 3 months to charge the batteries. So that came on the side over here. Okay, so what we have here is the Exodus 1500. There's the book, the manual. There's other videos that people have done on the Oupes stuff. Disclaimer. This also has an app that you can hook to it, I guess Bluetooth. I don't have any service here, so I can't do that here. And it just shows the power station, all the parts. It comes with an Anderson charging cable. That's on the front, and then a regular charging cable. Now this has the charging unit built inside, which is really nice. I like that. You don't have to worry about an extra brick. Has a user manual and then another Anderson MC4. So that's to hook to your solar panels. And it gives all the specs here: 120 volts, AC, rated power 1500 watts, boost mode, has a boost mode on it, 1700, peak 3600. So it'll peak at startup at 36, and then it'll go to 1500, but it also has a boost mode. Then 60 hertz, and then 12 volt, 10 amp on the DC. That's this one here. Unfortunately, I wish it would go a little higher, but that would run a small radio and a full-size radio up maybe 30, 40 watts. Has AC, USB-A output, 5 volts, 3 amps, 9 volts, 2 amps, 12 volts at 1.5 amps, and 18 watts max. That was USB-A, excuse me. USB-C is 5 volts, 3 amps, 9 volts, 3 amps, 15 volts, 3 amps, 20 volts, 5 amps, and 28 volts, 5 amps, and then 140 watts max. And it just gives all your different inputs, your battery. It's a 1488 battery. Rated voltage 13 VDC. Battery type, it's a LiPo 4, so that's good. That will last longer and less likely to have any problems as far as when you're charging them, like the RC cars used to have. It's your common information, description of all the parts. Let's go through that right now. And so basically you have 3 plugs. This one says 20, but I guess they're all 20 amp max. You have your power button down here. It's already powered on. I don't know if this is going to show up for you guys or not, but I guess I should have got something that kind of did this for you. But anyhow, you have your 2 USB-A's, 2 USB-C's, and your AC button. That says IoT, and this says DC. So this is for your DC plugs, and that's what it's on right now. Then you have your output over here. These are 12 volt, 10 amp. You have a cigarette lighter type, and then a couple of the round plugs. Nothing on that side but a vent. So you have an overload protection button here that you can push. This is your cord, your power cord. Like I said, the charging unit's built inside, so that's good. And then you have your solar chargers. Now, these don't look made too well. I haven't plugged anything in them yet, but they're kind of crooked. And this is the thing I don't like, and I haven't found anything on it, why they put the handle on the back. When you pick this thing up, it tilts over. To me, it's kind of weird why it isn't on the top or have some side ones. Maybe they didn't have room on the sides because of the venting. Maybe have something to do with that, but that's a small thing. Okay. So that's pretty much everything on the unit itself. You guys see I'm at 57%, and that's after 3 days up here camping. This is the 3rd day. Now here's your cables. This is the cigarette lighter. So you plug this in your cigarette lighter and plug that into that side. Let's just plug this thing in here. I'm trying something different here today, but it did plug in, so it should work. I will test it later. I'll probably straighten that up a little bit. This one is the same thing. Your input, and this is your solar panel hookups. These are real common, so that's good. And then that's just a power cord. Like I said, the charging unit's built inside, so nothing else you need to carry with you. I would carry your book, because one thing I didn't get into the book, we didn't go to the end here, but it goes through and it has all the what everything means on the gauges. You guys want to pause that, you can read it. Instructions for use. Shows where to hook everything up over here. Shows your solar charging, car charging. And it's also an emergency power supply, so if you have it hooked to power, it will come on and run certain things that you have hooked to it. They show a TV or something hooked to it, or a monitor. Frequency switching, I don't really know what that is. I think that it sounds like something that instead of 60 hertz, you can change it to different hertz for different countries. That's what I assume. I won't swear to that though. And then you have your fax, your boost mode, talks about the boost mode, and your fax and questions answered. And in the back is why I would keep this with me, is all the fault codes are here. You have like 2 pages of what the fault codes could be, and I'll hold that there for you for a second. And then I'll hold it right there for you for a second. All right, so that's pretty much everything. Alrighty, so I did what I brought this for. This is the unit. It's the Oupes. It's a 1500 watt. I'll talk more about this later. 1488 on watt hours. And it is called the Exodus 1500. Now, you guys have seen if you've watched the channel before, this is a compressor fridge. And I don't have it really loaded, but I got enough stuff in there to keep it cold. Some food, some drinks and stuff, beverages. They're pretty efficient. So, like I said, we decided to come camping. Now, I hooked up all this stuff at 3:30 yesterday, so it's like 15 hours ago. Let's see where we're at. I also charged my phone on it. We're at 89%. Now I am going to use this also. I've got a little coffee pot over there, you can see right there. I'm going to make coffee with it. Let me make some coffee and we'll come back and see what this thing's at, and then today we're going to charge it up. I also charged my phone off of it. My phone was about 60% last night, so that took a little bit also. Okay, so I just turned the coffee pot on. You guys can probably hear the fan. It's not super loud, but we're running 615 watts on the little coffee pot, and it's just starting to perk right now. And it says it will run 1 hour on that, but this thing's going to make coffee in about 5-10 minutes. So it's definitely going to draw it down. But that's a cool thing. It has everything we need to charge it back up, as long as you have like a solar, or if you have power, which I actually do have power. I have a generator with me. So if I really needed to, I could hook it up. It has, I'll show you all the ways to charge this thing later, but it's doing pretty well. Not too bad. And we are making some coffee, so I'm going to be happy. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but we're finishing up the coffee there. And 83%. I think it was at 86, so it went down 3%. Like I said, if you look here on the meter, it says it will run an hour at 610 watts. That's kind of all. This is kind of all meaningless unless you have something that's going to run continuous. Now it says 53 hours because the coffee pot just turned off. And we zero load over here now. So 4%, that's nothing. I'm here for, what, 2 full days, well, 2 full days and 2 nights. So this thing should last me a 3-day trip, no problem. So there we go. All right, let me show you something. Anytime you can use 12 volts, you're better. When you're using the inverter, to make power, and it's using the battery inside. It says 58 hours right now. Always remember to turn the inverter off when you're not using it. Watch what happens here. Oops, sorry. So now I turn it off. Now it says 99 hours because the inverter always is drawing some kind of power. So you want to make sure you turn that off so you're not drawing power that you're not really using. Okay? That's just a tip there for you. And anytime you don't need to use that inverter, don't use it. Use 12 volt. Okay, this is day 3. You see I'm at 63%. I didn't hook this to any kind of a charging setup. So this is 49, 50 hours, something like that. Like I said, it's the 3rd day, but I didn't start it until the afternoon, the 1st day. I've made 1 cup of coffee. I've charged my phone twice. The phone was about 70%, so not a lot of charge there. This thing will charge phones forever, I'm pretty sure. Let me go ahead, and I've also made 1 pot of coffee. I'm going to go ahead and start it again, and we will make another pot of coffee because I am ready. Let's see, now I got to push this one. It turns the, looks like I'm already on there. And we're running up to about 620 watts. It's a small coffee pot. Okay, hopefully you can hear that right now, the coffee pot finishing. Let's turn the power back, screen back on. And we're at 57%, and it's back to 39 hours, it says. But there's no load on it right now, other than my phone, which is not charging. So it's pretty good. So we're after 3 days, roughly. Not exactly 3 days hour-wise, but pretty close, of camping after I got here. I have 57% left. So, and that's without hooking a solar panel to it. That would have helped. If you have at least 100-watt solar panel, should keep this thing pretty much. If you have good sun and you can get a good angle on it, it should keep this thing charged for. You should go for a week or 2 or forever. I mean, as long as you have the sun, and even when it rains, you can still get a little bit of charge. It's not as good, but it still will charge a little.
All right, so I have a 200-watt solar panel hooked up. That 49% is what I had left over from 3 o'clock p.m. Friday till 6 o'clock p.m. Sunday. Continuous, never stopped, except to do the little review outside that you guys saw. So 200 watt hook up to it, and that was 49%. So this thing could have gone a few more days with no charging. I didn't charge it while I was there, and we're taking almost 100 watts in right now. And it was taking a while to charge this up that way. But I did notice that the cable that came with it also has set up, so I'll have to look and see what the maximum input is, but you might be able to hook up 2 of these because it has 2 inputs. The only thing I wish is they were a little bit longer, but you can always buy extensions. So there that is. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to hook up the actual power cord to it and see how it works. All right, so I've got it plugged into the to the house here. Been plugged in for a couple minutes there. Right now we're at about almost 400 watts, 393. It keeps going up a little bit, so it's ramping up slowly. If you guys can see that. Trying to block this best I can for the glare and stuff. So that, do the math. If it's around 400 and you figure out that it's 1488 watt hours, so you can kind of figure that out if you guys want to. All right, so I found something when I got home. Now it's already, it was up around 800, but it will dial down as it gets more charged. But there's a way to set this from 400 to 800. I'm going to show you how to do that. They do suggest charging when possible at the 400 mark. Okay, so let me disconnect this thing and I'll be right back. Okay, so there's the IoT button in the middle here, and in the DC button, you push them both for 3 to 5 seconds. The set comes on, and if you push the IoT button to low, that'll be the low setting, 400, and then push the bottom to set it, the power button, and it's set. And when you turn it back on, it'll be set for low. Okay, pretty simple. Okay, this is the truck. I'm just idling, so it might get a little bit better as you're going on the freeway, but this truck actually puts out pretty good voltage at idle, and it's 103, 104, so about 104 watts. So that should charge it up if you're going down the freeway or something, and on your way to the next destination, you can probably still have something plugged into it on the other side there and still charge it as you're going. Okay, all in all, this is a pretty nice little unit here. Only a couple things that I would nitpick about, and it's nitpicking, is the handle being off the back. When you lift it up, it wants to tilt it forward. It's not real ergonomic as far as I'm concerned. I'd rather have seen 2 handles on the sides. I understand why they didn't put it over the top, because if you did want to stack them, that's a reason not to put the handle on the top. Like a lot of the early ones had the handles. You couldn't stack them if you needed to. The other thing would be nice if they gave you a little bag. Since you do have that handle that hangs off the back, a little bag to hold all the parts and the instructions and all that stuff would have been nice. I know other companies do that. It wouldn't cost them very much to do that, and they could pass it on a little bit. It'd be just a few dollars for them, probably like $5 or $6. The other thing is, it would be nice to have charging ports, like where you just lay your phone on top of it. It didn't have that. I've got other units that do have that, and it's kind of a nice thing. If you forget your cord, you don't really need a cord. So that's the only thing I can say that I really can nitpick about it. Otherwise, it's really good. It has the ability to hook up 2 solar panels at once. I forget exactly what the output was for that, but I'll put down on the screen so it's tell you what your maximum input would be. And most of the time, if you have a 200 watt like I did, I only got 100 out of it today because of overcast. If you get like 180, 190 out of 200, you're doing really well. So that's what I got to say about it. That's the only pros and cons. Otherwise, it works great. So I hope you enjoyed the video. It looks like a pretty good unit. It's brand new on the market, so I couldn't even check it out myself. I will get
I will link something. If I have problems with it later, I will link something. I don't see any foreseen problem. This company's been in business for a while. They get pretty good reviews on all their other stuff, so not too worried about it. So if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to, like I said earlier, like and subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell, hit all, that way you get all my future videos. I'm Chuck, KK6USY. This is Ham Radio Ventures. I appreciate you spending your time with me today, and I hope to catch you guys on the airways. 73 all.